Hi, hello, good afternoon, and welcome back to my channel. Oh, sorry, I don't know whether you are watching me in the morning, afternoon, or evening, but good morning, afternoon, and evening wherever you are. My name is Angela. I am your resident farmer. I know it's been a very long while since I posted. I think my last post was in January, but I'm back. That's the most important thing. So let's get right into today's video. So today we are going to address this issue: can overfeeding harm pigs? So I would say a lot of the mails I receive and the questions that people ask me when I meet them, the questions I get from fellow farmers, our discussions are mostly based on the feed we give to pigs. So you come across several opinions, several things that people say, and I've realized that what stands out is that a lot of people have the notion that pigs are gluten. So whatever you give them, they are going to eat. If you feed them with a lot, they are going to finish everything. And they don't really care about if the amount of feed they are giving to the pig is enough or it's too much and might have effects on the pig. So today we are going to talk about how overfeeding is harmful for your pigs. You know that saying that says too much of everything is bad? Yeah, it's the same for pigs. If you give them, as for them, they'll eat. If you give them 1 bag, they'll finish it. 10 bags, they'll finish it. Whatever you give to a pig, it will eat and overeat and overeat, to eat till everything is done. So you have to control the portions of feed you give to your pig. So we are going to have an in-depth talk about the effects of overfeeding on pigs, and also what to do if your pigs are already obese or overweight. So let's talk about overfeeding in sows. Overfeeding in sows causes obesity, which can lead to conception problems. Now, how does this happen? Just as obesity can cause infertility in human females, it's the same way obesity can cause infertility in pigs. Now, how does this happen? You know, there are hormones that regulate the reproductive cycle of pigs. So this is what happens. The fat cells that are stored in the pig increase the concentration of a hormone which is called the estrogen. Now let's see what this estrogen does. So the estrogen affects the metabolism of the part of the brain which regulates reproductive functions in the pig. This means that at the time that your pig is supposed to go on heat, show signs of being on heat, nothing is going to occur. Your pig is just going to be there and just be there. And even if it shows signs of heat and you mate it, the chances of the pig getting pregnant is very low because there are hormones that are inhibiting the reproductive functions of the pig. So another point is that overfeeding in sows can also cause other problems such as mastitis and agalactia. So what is mastitis? So mastitis is a form of infection that causes the mammary gland to swell. So how does this mastitis occur? You know, fat cells that are stored in the pig as a result of the overfeeding or obesity can cause clogged pores in the breast tissue. And in the breast, any clogged pore that does not allow milk to drain through freely can lead to an infection. So the signs that your female pig or your sow has mastitis is that the breast becomes reddened, it becomes warm when you touch it, and then it shows signs of tenderness in that area. And so let's move on to agalactia. Agalactia is the absence of milk production in a sow that has produced piglets. So essentially we can say that agalactia is resulting from mastitis. And when this occurs, look at what happened to your piglets. Your piglets would have no milk. And remember, in our previous video we spoke about colostrum, which is essential to early development in piglets. Your pigs are going to lack this essential nutrient, and then they'll have stunted growth. So if you're looking at it very well, overfeeding in your sows will not just affect the sows, but it's also going to go down to affect the piglets as well. So these two effects are restricted to only female pigs, that is sows. Now let's see the effect of overfeeding restricted to just boars. So overfeeding in boars can cause them to grow too huge or too heavy that they cannot be used for breeding. So I'm going to give you a typical example of something that happened on my farm somewhere last year. So we had this male pig that we were using to cross our sows, and the pig was huge enough already, but we continued feeding it, giving it a lot of feed. It liked eating a lot, so we just kept on giving it feed, and this boar, I tell you, grew to be very huge and heavy. Now this is what happened. A farmer from a different farm came to loan a boar to use to cross his own sows on his farm, and then this guy came back with a report that our boar had crippled his sow. So this is what happened. He said he mounted the boar on the sow, and because the boar was too heavy, the sow fell down and couldn't stand properly on its feet again. So that was the end. He couldn't use the boar in breeding. So if you overfeed your boar thinking, oh, I want it to grow big, and you are going to still use that boar for breeding, just know that it won't be possible. It is going to end up crippling your sows. So essentially, there's no need to overfeed a breeding boar, except you are feeding it for the table. You are feeding it for it to be killed. Another thing is that overfeeding in boars can impair their libido, that is their desire to cross with the sow, leading to reproductive problems and decreased length of service time. So that instance where you have one boar and the boar is able to service maybe all the sows on your farm. Let's say you have 6 sows and you have just one boar servicing all of them. Now this is what is going to happen if you overfeed your boar. It is going to have less appetite for the sow. I've heard a lot of people say, oh, I've caged my boar and my sow and they are not crossing. It is not because the boar doesn't want to cross, it's because it doesn't have the desire to mount the female, and it is going to cost you, because you would then have to get another boar that will come and cross them if you do not have one readily available on your farm. So the remedy will be to decrease the amount of feed that you give to such a pig, so that it will return back into shape, and then it will build up its libido again to be able to service the sow. Some of the effects of overfeeding are not only restricted to one side, they can occur in both pigs, and these are joint problems, heart problems, and difficulty in breathing. Now, why would they have joint problems? So you have a pig that is obese. So this means that this pig has extra weight, and this extra weight is going to exert more pressure on the hips, on the legs, and other joints in the body. So essentially, the pig is going to have a lot of joint problems. So standing might be a problem. So you find the pig mostly lying down, which is not good, because your pig has to be active in order to strengthen its joints. So let's see why overfed pigs can have heart problems. Now let's look at it this way. When you overfeed a pig, it tends to gain more fat than muscle. Now this is what the fat is going to do. The fat that is stored around the heart is going to make it difficult for the heart to pump blood effectively, and this can even lead to heart failure in the pig. So we also said overfed pigs are going to have difficulty in breathing. Now why is this going to happen? The excess fat tissue that is stored around the chest and around the neck will make it difficult for your pig to breathe properly. And we all know that if the pig is unable to breathe properly, then it is a big problem. So now here's the good thing. Avoiding overfeeding in pigs is not difficult at all. However, it requires for you to have some knowledge in feeding of pigs, because pigs have different nutritional requirements at the different stages in their life. And I already have 2 videos on my channel that are going to help you to prepare good feed for your pigs. And by good feed, I mean feed that meets the nutritional requirements of your pigs at whatever stage they are in, and also the amount of feed that you should give them. So I think the videos are titled the amount of feed for pigs in a day and how to mix pig feed. That's the second one. So now what you do if your pigs are already obese or overweight? Do not starve them. And I repeat, do not starve them, else you have bigger problems to deal with. Do not starve your pigs. Now this is what you can do. You have to reduce the amount of feed you give them gradually. Don't let it be sudden. Don't just move from say 3 kg to 1 kg or to 0.5 kg. You are going to mess up with their whole system. So if you are giving them say 3 kg, reduce it to 2.8 for say a week. Reduce it gradually. Don't let the reduction be at once or all of a sudden, else you are going to have a lot of problems. Also, there's another option. You can contact your closest veterinarian to check on them to see if they're overweight, and then you take it from there. Before I end, do not starve your pigs. Just do not overfeed them with the mind that you want them to grow faster, or you want them to reach maturity so that they can start birthing. If you rush the process, you are going to struggle in the end. Thank you, and I'll see you in my next video. It's bye for now.